Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Who's ready for some Survivor talk? You know Survivor is coming up. We got a few days and it's time for me to get my power rankings video out there because we got to play along. We got to watch and play along. And I said I was going to do this video, so I want to get my opinion on my rankings out to you all, and you all let me know what you think. Now, when I say power ranking, I'm talking about the players 1 through 20, on 20 being the lowest, who I don't think has any chance of winning the game, and all the way up to the top, number 1, who would be my winner pick. Now, when I do this video, numbers 1 through 5 are going to be my fantasy picks. And when I say fantasy picks, just like fantasy football, which I love to play, and get in the comments, let me know if you know somebody who's playing Fantasy Survivor. I want to play. I will get in. I want to do it. Numbers 1 through 5 would be my fantasy picks. If I was playing for money, these are the people I would put my money on and say, I think they're going to win the game. So when we get to 1 through 5, those will be my fantasy picks. Now, let's just jump right into it. Number 20 is going to be Amber. I put Amber at 20 because she's already aligned to one of the biggest threats of the game, her husband, Rob. I think they have an alliance that is truly unbreakable. No one's going to vote out their husband. No one's going to vote out their wife. They're always going to be a 2-person voting block. Now, they happen to be on opposite teams. Amber's on the red team, Rob's on the blue team. And I feel like, one, the red team, they're going to lose the first challenge. I put money on that. And I just don't see anyone in the game willing to give Rob and Amber an opportunity to swap tribes and luckily get put on the same tribe and work together. I feel like Amber is, because of that reason alone, she's a huge threat. They're going to want to get at least one of them on Exile Island, and Amber, is going to be you. She ain't got no chance of winning the game. Like, if she's first on Exile Island, Amber's pulling that flag and going back to them 4 girls, or she gonna be on that jury because she ain't even gonna win to get off. So I'm sorry, Amber, but you get my number 20 pick. Number 19 is Michelle. Now, Michelle, she's someone who, even when I rewatched her game, she didn't have a winning game. Her strategy was just doing what other people said to do, and she was just had such a great social game. She was in a group of people that the jury hated more than her. Like, no one hated Michelle, so she won. I don't think this season, Survivor number 40, Winners at War, I don't think it's going to be a bitter jury. I think these people, they're winners. They're all gamers. They're going to vote on game. They aren't going to vote on hate. So for that reason, I don't see it for Michelle. And even in her pregame interview, she had no confidence. She said she's not confident in her own self and her own strategy. If you ain't confident, girl, who is going to be? So Michelle gets to be number 19. I just don't see it for her. She might be at the end because everyone's saying Michelle is going to get dragged to the end in that finalist position with 0 votes. I can see it, but that still means you're not going to win. So you can be number 19. Number 18, I gave to Danny. I gave Danny this pretty much for the same reason I gave it to Michelle. In her pregame interview, she has no strategy. She's only here to get away with the drama that's going on in her life, and I understand what's going on in her life. It can be tragic, and she just wants a break. But a break from life is not a strategy to get you $2 million. Danny is someone else who, if she's not voted off early as an easy boot, is someone that's going to follow along, be a number for someone, and get dragged to the end. And these people are not going to reward that. So Danny's number 18. Number 17 is one of my favorite players. It is Miss Sandra. Miss Sandra has no opportunity to win this game. I don't even think if she made it to the end, they would give it to her because there's so many people saying We are not going to allow Sandra to be a 3-time winner. They aren't going to allow it. Now, mind you, I don't think Sandra's going to be an early boot. Will I think Sandra will be used as a number in probably that Thread Alliance or whatever alliance she pulls together. People will allow Sandra to think the queen is still queen and allow her to maneuver through this game. And then probably once they hit merge, maybe a little bit after the merge, once they get a few physical threats out, they're going to get rid of Sandra too because she's not going to be a physical threat for any of those individual immunity challenges. So why not let her think she's the queen and use her for a vote? I think Sandra is going to play a lot this season. It's going to be good to watch, but I don't think anyone's going to allow her to get anywhere close to the finale. And they definitely not going to let her win. Everyone has said it. Everyone said it. Next, I have number 16 is Tony. I put Tony at 16 because he had that attitude of where he thinks he's better than, and he called a lot of the returning players like they think they're celebrities because people like watching them on TV. Like, Tony is just someone who I don't think his attitude can be hidden for too long. I definitely think once Tony hears that this game is for $2 million, he's going to go extra hard. People are going to get nervous about his craziness. I think he's going to clash with Sandra because he's on the red team with Sandra. And if they don't get Amber out first, I can clearly see them saying Tony has to go first because I just think he's going to clash with people on that red team. And I don't see him making it anywhere close to the merge. So, sorry, Tony. I do want to see him play because he's very unpredictable. He could surprise me. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if my rankings are going to be true. He could surprise me, but I think his attitude is going to get him in trouble and he's going to be out. Number 15, I'm giving it to Sarah for pretty much the same reason I'm giving it to Tony. Sarah is on the red team with Sandra. Sarah has already said in her pregame that none of the women's games are as good as hers. Like, all the girls' games are trash. She has the best game because she beat Sandra. So Sarah thinks she the queen because she beat the queen. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Sarah, I like Sarah. I think she's a good player. I don't think she can really play that bad cop role anymore because they already know that's her winning game. Sarah played with returning players and won with returning players before, so I think Sarah will do well. I think Sarah could even make it to the merge, but I think Sarah's cockiness, especially on this red tribe, if she can make it through the first swap, and Amber being that first boot is going to help Tony and Sarah out because I think they're going to swap after 2 votes, and I really do think they're going to just get Amber out first, but I hope Sarah can make it far into the game and can hold her ego in check. But I think Sarah is definitely going to be an ego. I think she's going to be against Sandra. And people aren't going to be that scared of Sandra as a physical threat to where they might say, well, just get rid of Sarah right now. We'll fool with Sandra later. So I don't think Sarah's going to win the game. Next, number 14 I have is Denise. Denise is someone who I think will be a calming spirit in the tribe. I think when those egos are going like this, they may look to Denise to calm them down because she's that therapist and she knows how to speak to people to calm them down and get them to see her way. I don't see her being a major strategist this season. I think she'll be a great number for someone. Adam has already expressed interest in wanting to work with Denise, so I think maybe she could get far. But being a follower is not going to win you the season. And I don't see her just being some breakout strategy leader with some great move that's going to get her to win the game. I just don't see it for Denise. We shall see. Next, number 13, I struggled with. It's a few players because I wrote my list down in pencil and I erased and rewrote and erased and rewrote probably a million times because I am taking my power rankings list seriously. It's serious to me. Number 13 is Ben. I put Ben closer to the bottom because in his I'm looking at pregame, I'm looking at what they did before, and if I think they have the ability to change. Ben, he wasn't necessarily a follower. He did discuss strategy with, I want to say her name was Christy, but I really give a lot of the moves to Christy. Then he crossed Christy, and then they wanted to just get him out, and he had to find idols all those weeks and make fire and win the game. A great win. I don't discount his win. I'm not one of the haters that hates on Ben. I actually like Ben. But this season is going to be way too many idol finders where I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to be that lucky. And I don't know how strong his strategy mind is. Is he going to fall back into that role where he gets with a Jeremy or he gets with a Rob and let them lead the strategy and he gives his 2 cents? Or can he gather a group of people to follow him and make big moves? Can he even come up with big moves and convince people to maneuver through different voting blocks? Like, I just don't see that for Ben. For that reason alone, I think Ben, I hate to write him low because I don't think he's going to get voted out early because there's way too many more male threats ahead of him. But if that threat alliance gets to get on a move, Ben could get voted out early. I went back and forth with Ben, but he got to be at 13. Somebody got to be 13, so Ben is 13. But I do want to see him play. Next, I gave number 12 to Nick. Nick was someone else who I erased a million times. And then I had to check myself and I said, Angie, are you really feeling it for Nick? Or his season was one of my favorite seasons? Or are you really feeling it for that season? And I like Nick. I don't hate on his win. I think he made some good moves. Why I rank Nick low is because he's the newbie on the block. Nick is the most recent winner. He probably is not going to have a pregame alliance. And mind you, I believe 100% there's going to be multiple interweaving pregame alliances. So I just think he's so new. He's so young. He doesn't really know anyone. He's going to be on the bubble of those pregame alliances and probably will be an easy, let's just get rid of him. If he's lucky and someone just picks him up and say, hey, come be a part of our pregame alliance, he can make it a little while, but I just don't see it for him. I think he's always going to be an outsider of the show, and he will always be an easy vote when a vote is going to be tight and they just need to get rid of someone. So I'm sorry, Nick. I mean, I like you. Somebody has to be number 12. I wanted to put you higher, but it's just more people I'm feeling right now. Next, number 11, the last person at the bottom of my don't see it for you winning list. I put Rob. I'll say it again. Rob is someone who I'm excited to see how long they let him play. Like, Rob is a huge threat. I promise you, before this pregame interview, I did not know he wrote a book on Survivor theory and strategy. Like, Rob is very smart when it comes to Survivor, and I just don't see anyone giving him the opportunity to go that far in the game. Now, I said it once, I'll say it again. The blue team is stacked. Rob is on the blue team. Go back and watch my red team, blue team cast overview videos and you'll hear me say more about it. But the blue team is stacked and I don't see them losing any challenges into that swap. So Rob is going to have an opportunity to make some good alliances and make some good connections. But I just don't care how much he is connected to someone. I feel like after a while, they have to get rid of Rob pre-merge. They have to. They got to put him on Exile Island and make him fight to come back in the game. So for that reason alone, I don't see it for Rob. But if Rob ends up winning this game, I think it's going to be an even more excellent season because I know some crazy things are going to have to go down for him to win this game. And I'm going to look at production sideways if he find like 5 immunity idols. I'm just saying that right now. But I do want to see what he can do this season, but I just don't think, he's like Sandra. They're never going to let him win the game. Next, we're getting to the top 10. Next, my girl Parvati gets to be number 10. Parvati is a huge threat. Parvati is someone who I think is very charming. She's very social. I think it's easy. It will be easy for Parvati to get a Black Widow's number 2. Like if she can pick up a Michelle and she can pick up a Danny and even pick up Kim, dangerous. Dangerous. I can see Parvati winning this game, but she's such a huge threat. Everyone is almost a good 75% of them are huge threat. It's not too many people that are just going to get dragged to the end. It's really only those 2, Danny and Michelle. Everyone else could run for it. But Parvati, she can probably slip through. Like, we got to get rid of Rob first. We got to get rid of Jeremy first. We got to get rid of Ben. Like, Parvati, I can see slipping through a lot of cracks. And I would love to put her on my fantasy team, but I think her threat level is way too high to be on my fantasy team. So she gets to be in the top 10, and I can't wait to see you play, girl. I like Parvati. I really like Parvati. But I don't think you're going to win. I guess at 10, you got 50-50 chance. Okay, who I have at number 9? Number 9 is Ethan. Ethan is one of the ones who I raced with Nick and Ben a ton of times. And I kind of feel like, I'm going to stick to my list now, but I kind of feel like Ethan should be lower. He's a very old school Survivor player, but he's one who said he studied the game. He watches all the seasons, so he's familiar with a lot of the new tricks and idols and advantages and all the things that'll probably be going on this season. So I feel good about that for Ethan, that at least he's aware of what's coming. It ain't right to say, but I think I just fell for his story. Like, I really fell for him when he said he was battling cancer. I want to say it was blood cancer. And he was really down and he didn't even know if he was going to be here. And he had to go back and train mentally. He trained physically. And he's just so excited to just be able to play Survivor. Like, that touched my heart. And I was like, I'm really rooting for him. Like, I remember his season. I really didn't remember the game. It was so long ago. I did watch his highlights, the clips. And that old school way of playing Survivor is no longer exciting because we've seen Survivor grow. So when I was watching the highlight clips, I was like, whatever. But I think he can do it. I think I just rated him higher because I want him to do it, because I really like his story of fighting back cancer and coming out to live his dream again. Like, that touched me. So he gets to be number 9. I probably should have gave him Ben's spot, but I'm sticking to my list. Okay, number 8 was Sophie. Sophie is someone else who I probably wanted to give Nick's spot to. But I like Sophie because when I rewatched her clips, she was one of those no nonsense, say it how you mean it type of ladies. And I like that about Sophie. So I think the moves she makes will be heard and will be recognized. And so that's why I give Sophie higher than a Ben or a Nick, because I think if she can make it to the end, she will be remembered for the moves she makes. She's not going to make it there by following someone else's strategy. So I'm excited to see what Sophie does. She's also another old school Survivor player, and I'm really curious to see how these old school players are going to play in this new school game. So I gave number 8 to Sophie. Next, number 7. I wanted to put Kim on my fantasy team, but I gave Kim number 7 because Kim is a lady. I really enjoyed her season. She dominated One World. I think if she can click with Parvati and pull some of these other ladies together, I think she can dominate again this season. I think what scares me about Kim is in pregame, almost everyone said Kim is a threat. Not just the ladies, the men too. Kim is a threat. She played an excellent game. They're going to want her gone. And what scares me about Kim and her pregame, one, her interview was way too short. But I already said that in the other video. Watch it and you'll hear me talk about that. And she spent her whole time talking about missing her daughter. I know the 2 million will knock that out of her head. But I'm just really wondering, is Kim's head there? Like, she didn't give me any excitement in pregame. She did not excite me in pregame. So I'm like, is her head in it? Can she do this a second time? I'm rooting for you, Kim. I liked your game the first time, Kim. But I just dropped you out of my fantasy team because your threat level is so high, you don't even recognize it. I don't even think Kim is going to see it coming. Her threat level is so high. Her threat level is so high and she doesn't know it. I don't even think she would know she needs a Parvati to be a meat shield for her. Like, I hope it clicks for you, Kim. I'm not seeing it, but I really am. Like, I would have probably put Kim at maybe number 2. But I'm sticking to my list. Let's keep going. Number 6 hurts me so bad because I really want number 6 to be my winner pick, like to be number 1. But I had to drop him out of my fantasy. Can you guess who I'm talking about? Yes. It's Jeremy. I love Jeremy. I love Jeremy's game. I love watching him play Survivor. I think he's an amazing Survivor player. I think it's amazing how he gets good players. Like, Jeremy is also one on a returning season. He's able to get good players to follow his strategy. I know Jeremy could do this. I know he can do it. But Jeremy's threat level, I would say, is equal to like Parvati, Rob, and Sandra's. Like, when I think of the Threat Alliance, I think of Rob, Sandra, Parvati, Jeremy. I don't think Jeremy recognizes that. I don't think Jeremy realizes when he looks at the cast of this season that he's in the top tier of threats. And I think people are going to take shots at Jeremy. They're going to take shots at whatever alliance Jeremy comes up with. He says he's gaining weight, but I don't care how much weight you gain, Jeremy. You're going to be a physical threat. I don't think it's in you to pull back to not look like a physical threat. Like, you may not want to look like a physical threat, but you're going to be a physical threat. I want Jeremy on my fantasy team, but I can't. I said, Angie, once you write it out and you finish, you can't change it. You got to pick who you pick and roll with it. If Jeremy wins and I just happen to have him at number 6 outside of my fantasy league and say I lose all the money, but Jeremy still wins, I will be excited that Jeremy won. I'll be mad I lost money, but I would be excited that if anyone else won outside of my fantasy team, it could be Jeremy. They should have had more threats. I mean, it is what it is, Jeremy. Your game is just that good. Okay, let's get into my fantasy team. Video is getting to be way too long. Angie, you talk way too much. Okay, number 5 is Yule. I put Yule at number 5 because I think he's very smart. I think he's very trustworthy. He's not going to be on that threat list. I think many more people will have to go before they even think about Yule. I think he's not going to be out there trying to do real slick stuff, but I think he'll be smart enough to know he has to make, when to make big moves and why. So I think Yule could be a sleeper for this season. He's definitely going to slip through a lot of cracks. And if he has any luck finding idols and advantages, I believe he's smart enough to know how to play them correctly. So that's why I put Yule on my fantasy team. He's my sleeper pick at number 5. Number 4 is Tyson. When I look at one, I like Tyson. I'm excited to see him play. When I look at all the physical threats out there, I think Tyson is one who can also slip through. It's a lot more people. They're going to want to try to get out Rob. They're going to want to try to get out Jeremy before they think about Tyson. Tyson has some good strategy of lying about pregame alliances and people getting paid all this money. If that backfires, I'm going to be out of a fantasy pick, because if his lies backfire, they're going to want to get him out. They're not going to fool with him. But I'm hoping that they don't. I still hope he lies regardless. Like, I'm really curious of how that is going to play out. I think Tyson is one who definitely, once he gets to the merge, will be an individual immunity threat. He definitely will be able to win his way out of some things if he does start to get into trouble. I have a really good feeling about Tyson. So Tyson gets to be at number 4. My heart wants to put Jeremy there, but I just think Jeremy is a way bigger threat than Tyson. And I'm sticking to my list. Let's keep going. Number 3 is my girl, Natalie. Y'all know I love Natalie. I've loved Natalie since The Amazing Race. I see it for Natalie. She is CrossFit coach. She's definitely, people aren't going to want to get rid of her. She's going to be able to help out in the challenges. And then when it gets to the merge, I can see her steamrolling some of these immunity challenges. Natalie is also smart. Natalie thinks ahead. Natalie thinks ahead. She knows I might need to do this move first before I do that one. Not let me just jump the gun. I think Natalie could be a good winner pick. You can't change your list, Angie. I really like Natalie. I didn't want to make my list off of just my favorites as well. I wanted to really think about this. Natalie, I ranked a little bit lower on my fantasy list because she is on the lips of many of the females. Many of the females already see Natalie as a threat. I don't really see Natalie as a threat, but hey, I ain't playing. But let's move on. Number 2 is Adam. Now, I ranked Adam at number 2 because Adam is like a super fan. I'm not quite super fanish as Adam, but like Adam has watched all the seasons, rewatched them. After his win, he goes to all the Survivor events. He's met a lot of the winners. I think Adam will definitely have a pregame alliance. I think he already has a pregame alliance with Denise, because why would he say Denise? Like, of all the people, I would never even think of Denise coming back to the game. So why would I be like, I want to have a pregame alliance? He didn't say pregame alliance. He said, I want to get an alliance with Denise. Adam is already playing the game before the game is even getting played. He's meeting people. He's learning from these people. He's learning strategy from so many different people who played the game. He's studying how these people think. I think knowledge is power. And I think people who really study the game know what to look for, when to look for it, and that's an advantage for them. It's a lot of knowledgeable people out there, but I really like Adam, and I hate that people hate on his win, because Adam was one of my favorite players that season, and I really liked his season as well. So I really think if Adam can maneuver through the game like he maneuvered through his season and really read people and read situations and make hard moves when you need to make them, I can see him at the end. And who wants to vote off Adam? Like, I don't see Adam. He's not going to be out there dominating the immunity challenges. So who's going to want to vote him off? I can see him. He definitely is going to be a sleeper. Now, number one, if you haven't guessed it, is Wendell. Now, I really enjoyed Wendell. I really loved his season. I thought he had a great game. True, Wendell played with a partner. Wendell won his season with a tie, and Laurel voted for him because she was just closer with Wendell than Dom. And Wendell did play that idol on her that one time too. That helped. I think people are going to remember that. They're going to know Wendell is someone who is a great team player, and they're just going to want to be on a team with Wendell. But why I like Wendell so much is that he recognizes how he won the last time, and he knows that he has to do things differently this time. Like, he's not going to have a partner out there. No one is going to tie and say, oh, they made equal moves, who should I vote for? No. So he knows he has to play stronger. He knows he needs to get with Jeremy, but cut Jeremy right at the merge. But he needs to have a whole team behind him willing to cut Jeremy and move forward with. Like, Wendell has some great strategy. I really like the way he talked about the game. I really like the way how he said, look at this strap, y'all, it's getting on my nerve. How he said he studied the game. He's also one who said he studied the players and how they played before, so he can just kind of know where people are coming from. So Wendell's my winner pick. Win or lose, he's who I'm riding for to win this game. Now, y'all, get in these comments. Let me know what y'all think about my rankings. Let me know if you think they're crazy or if you think I'm on the money. Let me know who y'all winner picks are. Let me know who your top 5 are. Every week I'm going to come back to this, and we're going to see how my top 5, how they're doing. We're going to talk about their strategies. We're going to talk about Survivor. Like, I cannot wait till Wednesday. I really cannot wait till Wednesday. This season has been a long time coming. It's just exciting when you're watching a game that you love with all the people that you love playing the game from the past. I do want them to do another season with returning players, because I still have some more favorites that haven't won, but I want to see them play again. I'm sure they'll do that. But come on back. The dog is about to knock my stand over, so let's wrap this up. Come on back. Subscribe to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Let's watch the Survivor together. Let's have a good time. Like the video, comment, and share. You all have a good weekend, and I will see you Wednesday night. Bye.